The information provided by Trading Forex Price Action to you does not constitute personal financial advice. The information provided is of a general nature only and does not take into account your individual objectives, financial situation, or needs. It should not be used, relied upon, or treated as a substitute for specific professional advice.
Weekly Forecast.
Hey guys, this is a weekly forecast for May 17th through the 21st of 2021. Alright, we'll start off with the pound dollar. This is a monthly chart. We'll start off with an overview. So there's a weak double bottom right here. And weak double bottoms typically don't go its target height, which is generally in this area right here. Thus, in the long term, I am short biased, right back down to this pivot low right here. However, since there's a little bit of strength long left in this double bottom, in the medium term, I am long biased right up to this pivot high right here. And finally, since I'm waiting for the weekly chart to show some direction, in the short term, I am neutral biased. Okay, let's talk entries. Okay, this is a weekly chart. So the setup I've been looking at for the past couple of months is as follows. So there's a strong short trade right here, and then a weak long trade formed. And so as price pulled back, I was looking for short trades right back down to this pivot low as a target, and that target was hit. And now at this point, I'm waiting for another weekly long trade to form so I could gauge its strength against the strength of this last short trade right here. And if this long trade is stronger than this last short trade, and that's along with my medium term bias, so I'll look for longs, targeting this medium term target right up here. However, on the other hand, if this weekly long trade is weaker than this short trade, well then again I'll be waiting for another pullback up so I could take a short right back down to this new pivot low as a target. Okay, so that's the basic setup I'm looking at. However, there is a scenario in which price may not make this weekly long trade and go straight to the medium target right up here at this pivot high. So in order for this scenario to take place, basically between this pivot high right here and current price, on the lower time frames, if price starts to make strong long price action, in other words, compact price action, where the distance between each peak is very minimal. If this type of price action on the lower time frames does form, there is a possibility that price will not make that long weekly trade so we could gauge its strength against this prior short trade and go straight to its medium term target right up at this pivot high up here. However, for the time being, there is no strong long price action on the lower time frames at this point, and so I'm still expecting price to fall back down and make another weekly long trade so we could gauge its strength against its previous short trade to see what my short-term bias should be, whether long or short. And since this scenario still holds true for the time being, in my midweek analysis last week, I was mentioning I was going to take an intraday short trade with the entry level right here, roughly at the 1.4140 area, and a stop loss right up at this pivot high right here, with the first target being right here and the second target being here. Alright, so let me update you on how I'm managing that intraday short trade. So let's go over to the daily chart. Alright, so on this daily chart, my entry price level for that short trade was right here, and the stop loss at this pivot high right here, and my first target being right down here, and possibly the second target here. Now at this point, because of price action that formed on the lower time frames yesterday, I brought down this stop loss level to this break even level right here. And moreover, I took 50% of my profits at this level right here. Now the reason why I reduced my risk overall is due to the price action that formed on the lower time frames at this area. Alright, so let me take you over to the 1 minute chart to show you what that's about. Alright, so on this 1 minute chart, price was falling very nicely on Thursday. However, yesterday, in this area right here, there was strong long price action that formed on this 1 minute chart. Now again, that will be compact price action. So this price action right here is a great representation of compact price action. you see how the width between each peak is very minimal. So what this compact price action tells me is that there's a lot of strong buying pressure at this level, and this level being a daily and weekly horizontal level. So let me go ahead and show you that level I'm talking about. We'll go back to the daily chart. Okay, so on this daily chart, you can see how price is respecting this horizontal level many times over the past couple of months. Now that 1 minute compact long price action formed right at this level. Now seeing that this horizontal level and a break out of it a couple of days prior, I'm sure many people were looking at this retest as a possible long entry opportunity. And due to the possibility that price could pull back beyond my entry level, which was right at this area right here, I took out half my position at this level right here and brought my stop loss to a break-even point right here. So at this point, there's still 50% of my position still left in to see if it could reach this first target right here and possibly its second target right here. I reduced the risk of this short trade to 0 is because even if price gets beyond these price levels that I entered the short trade on, there's still an opportunity for me to take another short trade right back down to these target parameters as long as price does not reach this pivot high right here. So at this point in terms of intraday trades, as long as price does not reach this pivot high up here and there's no sign of lower time frames, strong long price action, I'm willing to take another short trade right back down to this first target right here and a second target here with the stop loss at this pivot high right here. Alright, so in terms of intraday trades, I'm just going to see if price could get back up here while maintaining week long price action to see if I could take another intraday short. Alright, so let me sum this up for you on the weekly chart. Alright, so on the short term, I'm still waiting for that basic setup for a weekly long trade to form so I could gauge the strength against this short trade and then decide whether to be long or short biased. However, there is a possibility that this setup may not form if there is strong long price action on the lower time frames, in which case price will likely just go straight up to our medium term target at this pivot high. However, if this short-term long price action does not form, I'm willing to take short trades right back down to this level right here as a first target and possibly a second target right here with a stop loss at this pivot high right here. Okay, if you're having trouble understanding the terms in this lesson, please watch my price action trading course, for that course is designed to provide you the information that allows you to understand these forecasts. Alright, so let's go on to the NZD USD pair. Alright, this is a weekly chart. We'll start off with an overview. So since this move up right here, starting from this range right here, was solely based on momentum, in the long term, I am short biased right back down to these pivot lows right here. However, since there's a little bit of momentum still left in this move, in the medium term, I am long biased right back up to this pivot high as a target. Okay, let's talk entries. Alright, on this daily chart, I was saying the last long trade that formed was right here, with a stop loss right at its pivot low right here. And so I was mentioning if price gives a very nice pullback, minimizing my risk, that I will be taking a long entry right up to our medium term target right up here. And so I entered roughly with a 20 pip stop loss, but on Friday night, I already took out my entire position, roughly in this area right here. Now the reason why I took out my entire position before my main target up here was hit was like I explained in the midweek analysis. The price action right here on the lower time frames was very weak long. And seeing that the lower time frames price action at this point right here was very weak long, it presented the possibility that this last daily long trade already hit its target at this level. And when trades hit their targets, price usually just pulls right back down to stop out the traders that are still in this long trade, with the stop loss being right here. Now for those of you that didn't see my midweek analysis, let me explain what showed me that there's weak long price action in this area. So first we'll go over to the monthly chart. Alright, so on this monthly chart, try drawing this trend line from this pivot to this pivot right here. Now this trend line is relatively strong. It has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 touches on it. Moreover, there is a monthly gap level right here. It's kind of small. Now, due to these price characteristics being very strong on the monthly chart, and price having to get through it to get to our medium-term target right up here, I wanted the lower timeframes price action in this area to be very strong long. Now, let me show you what that price action looks like. So we'll go over to the 1 minute chart. All right, so on this 1 minute chart, that monthly trend line level is roughly in this area. It cuts right through the price. Now again, there was nice compact price action at this level right here. The width between each peak is very small. So typically when price gets through these major levels, the lower time frames create this compact price action, gradually get through these levels and then go. However, in this case, although price did have strong long price action on the lower time frames, it still failed and came right back down. So to me, when there's strong long price action, but price still fails, that tells me that there's a lot of selling pressure at this point actually. Okay, so let me take you back to the daily chart to sum this up. All right, so on this daily chart, that week-long 1 minute price action formed right here. And because that shows that there was strong selling pressure at these levels, I took out my entire position roughly in this area. All right, so at this point, in order to target this medium-term target right up here at this pivot high, what I'm looking for is for price to again be deflected at this price level and stop out the long traders at this area with a stop loss right here and make another long trade. Then perhaps I might take that long trade right up to our medium-term target at this pivot high right here. But still, I'll be eyeing these levels right here to see if price could get through it with strong long price action on the lower time frames. Okay, all right, so let's go on to the Euro-USD pair. All right, this is the monthly chart. We'll start off with an overview. All right, so since this price action right here is very strong short, and price still having a ways to go down beyond this fall right here, in the long term, I'm short biased right back down to this pivot low right here. However, since there was a breakout of this strong trend line from this pivot to this pivot right here, that breakout being right here, in the medium term, I'm long biased right back up to this pivot high right here. However, currently, since there's a little bit of strength down left in this move, in the short term, I'm short biased right back down to this pivot low right here. Okay, so let's talk entries. Okay, this is a weekly chart. Let me run you by the setup I've been looking at for the past couple of months. So there was a strong short trade right here, then a week long trade formed. So as price pulled back, I was looking for shorts right back down to this target right here. And then the same thing repeated. So another week long trade formed here. So again, I was waiting for a pullback, looking for shorts right back down to this pivot low as a target. And that target was hit. And now the same thing happened again. Another week-long trade formed. So in this moment in time, I'm letting price pull back to give me an opportunity to take a short right back down to this new pivot low as a target. Now in terms of this short entry, there's a couple of events that happened recently, so let me update you on those. I'll take you over to the daily chart. All right, so just as a refresher, on this daily chart, the last short trade that formed was right here. And if you recall, I was talking about that this daily short trade possibly already hit its target right here. And so I was mentioning we could expect a medium strength pullback right back up to this pivot high right here. Now, the reason why I chose this level right here to be the possible pullback area is again because possibly this daily short trade already hit its target. And when trades targets are hit, price pulls right back just to stop out the traders that are still short in this position, with the stop loss being right at this pivot high right here. However, since our short-term bias right back down to this pivot low as a target is based on the weekly chart, in my opinion, price did not hit its weekly target at this level yet. Now, since that last short trade on the weekly chart formed in this area, with the stop loss being at this pivot high, even if price gets up to these levels, if there is no strong long price action on the lower time frames like compact price action, I'm still willing to take a short right back down to this short-term target right down here. So at this point, I'm essentially waiting for a weekly short trade to form. So let me take you over to the weekly chart. Okay, so on this weekly chart, if another red candle forms at the close of next week, I'm willing to take a short entry right down to our short-term target right down here with a stop loss at its pivot high right here. Okay, so for next week, I'm just going to wait and see if this next red candle forms, in which case I'll be taking a short entry. Okay. All right, so that's it for the weekly forecast. I hope you guys have a great week, guys. And thanks for watching. Okay, bye.